were several requests since the last series of tunes for some slides. So this is the first tune of a set of 3 slides that I used to play with the group Patrick Street. Now a slide is a kind of a jig, and they come mostly from the southwest of Ireland, an area called Sliabh Luachra, which straddles both County Cork and County Kerry. It's partly in Cork, partly in Kerry. And it's an area renowned for its music, particularly slides and also polkas. In the rest of the country they play jigs and reels more often, but in Sliabh Luachra they have slides, which is the jig equivalent, and polkas, which is the kind of reel equivalent. A slide is in 12/8 as opposed to a jig which is in 6/8. It still has the groupings of 3 notes that you'd have in a jig, but instead of 2 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it has 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now one of the dangers is to make the grouping of 3 into a long note and a short note. That happens often, but if it happens too often, it starts to slip over into a hornpipe. It becomes dum da dum da dum da dum. So you need to inject the 3 notes to make sure it doesn't lose its slide status, if you like, dum da 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 dum da 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 da, that kind of thing. And it's probably better if I play it. The tune I'm going to play. So I start with a dotted note and then 3 notes. So the first beat is just 1 long note. That's the second beat. Is the third beat, a long note and a short note. And then the 4th beat is a long note. So you can see they're kind of mixed up. But by including the group of 3, we refer back to that's the main unit, if you like. If you have too many of the long note, short note beats, then it becomes more like a hornpipe, which would upset greatly the people in Sliabh Luachra. They don't like to hear the slides confused with hornpipes, so beware of that. And another thing that often happens is they sometimes emphasize the 4 beat. In most kinds of music, when you have 4 beats, you emphasize the 1 and the 3. So I went through the slide in the basic version, and I took it at a fairly slow pace. So this time in the more advanced version, I'm going to pick up the pace and add a few small things that might help you to play these slides. They're a very particular type of tune, and some of the great players who play this kind of music that you might want to listen to would be probably the greatest of them all is a fellow called Padraig O'Keefe. He's the source for a lot of this music. He was a great fiddle player and fiddle teacher, probably born in the late 1800s, I would guess. Probably died around 1970. So he was probably born around 1900, something like that. But he taught a lot of the great players that you can find nowadays on record. Julia Clifford, Dennis Murphy, and the younger generation, Jackie Daly, an accordion player, a great fiddle player called Matt Cranich. And all those people are kind of renowned for their Sliabh Luachra music, their slides and polkas. And it's from them that I learned, but it's not the kind of music I grew up with, so I would definitely defer to those people that I just mentioned. But since I was asked to include some slides in this series, I thought I'd give it a go. Even though I definitely couldn't be called a specialist in this kind of music, but I do like it a lot. So I'll play the tune once through. 1, 2, 3. And so on. So it's quite energetic.